It's Monday. It's Sunday. I get my days mixed up. Actually, it's Friday in London, and over there in Tokyo, Japan, it's 9 a.m. and everybody's having breakfast, ham and eggs, a whole 9 yards. Everybody, my name is Frank Allan, and welcome aboard once again. And here we are. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and we're here every Thursday night at this time at Eastern. Every Thursday night between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. And of course, we get together each week and we invite you to come in and enjoy with us and have a little fun, because we're all here to do that together, and making sure that we grab you into the conversation, grab you in, get you going, and we're all going to have a good time doing this. We've got so much to do today, and we got a whole hour together. Now, you know, we're here, as I said, the purpose of the show is to grab you into conversation. And what we're going to do, we're going to kick off the show as the host. I am going to start it off, kicking off the show with conversation, and then you're going to be added along to it. And we're going to make sure you get because all you have to do is just type in. Like, I'll see you right there on the big screen. All you have to do is type in and let us know what you want to talk about. And we will entertain your thoughts and ideas and your comments and all of that. We'll do all of that for you. And so you just stand by and stay with us. Well, you know, the time goes by so quick. It's so fast. It's going on really heavy. I mean, it just seems like only yesterday we were here. And it's another week going by. And I was just thinking, you know, this morning as I was having my coffee, you know, it was just like, how did we get to this point when it only seemed like yesterday was Monday, and here we are Thursday, tomorrow is Friday, we're ready to head for another weekend. It only seems that we just got off a weekend, and this is just a regular week for everybody. It was no holiday, a long weekend, and so we're all here. So thank you for being along with us. So what do you say we get started and give that hearty hand clap, right? That's how we start the show. We give that hearty hand clap for all of you out there who have been with us all of this time. And by the way, later on in the program, I got to mention this before I move on. Later on in the program, not too far away, Brian Camp will be around with us by telephone, and he's going to give us the latest developments in today's world of sports. It's called Sports Update, and it'll be happening right here, so we don't want you to miss it. You stand by for that. That's coming up not too far away. So as I continue with the hand clap, that's for you. Of course, because you're so diligent and you're so loyal to be here each week, and we really want to thank you for that. And of course, that's also going out to all of the people like the doctors and the nurses and all hospital personnel, first responders, firefighters, and the police officers, and bus operators, subway operators, keeping things going. All of those mom and pop stores have been open, and those grocery stores, supermarkets, and laundromats, they all stayed open just to make sure we still do what we have to do to keep things going. So we want to thank all of those people for that. And of course, we're going to need all of you doctors and nurses and all of you people I just mentioned. We're going to still need you, because we still are under the pandemic, and we've got a long way to go. And we talk about this each week because it's upon us. And I don't want you to think that because it's subsided a little bit and then we're going out on our merry way back on our jobs, and it's not normal. It's a little normal than before. If you remember when it first started over a year and a half ago, when it first started, everybody was just cooped up in their houses and apartments and couldn't go anywhere, you know. But we're a little more free now, but still we need to hang on, because there are certain things that we still have to do, and we have to continue to wear our mask and use our hand sanitizer and make sure everything is spotless clean in your house. And when you meet your fellow man or fellow woman in the street, you want to make sure you protect them by wearing your mask, especially if you're going on transportation, mass transportation, buses, subways. Even if you're going to fly, please, follow suit as well. And I suggest one thing too. The biggest thing that I suggest is get vaccinated, because that helps a lot. Now, the more people that get vaccinated, the faster we can just overcome this whole thing. A lot of people are still on the fence about it, and they don't want to do it, but we urge you to do it, because it's very important. It's important to me. It should be to you. You want to make sure everybody's taken care of, especially in your household, your children, your wives, your husband, and anyone else who lives with you. You want to make sure they're all protected. Kids are back in school now. Teachers, if you're watching, you're listening, you want to make sure that you're vaccinated too, because it only makes sense to be vaccinated if you're going to take care of young kids, especially, of course, you people in the hospital as well. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. So all you have to do is just be vaccinated. If you're going to take care of me, take care of yourself first. I'll put it that way to you, because it's very important. So there are a lot of places to get vaccinated, and as you already know, we have three vaccines on the market. We have Johnson and Johnson, we have Moderna, and we have Pfizer as well. Now we understand that things are moving fast now. They're talking about getting the kids vaccinated now, 5 years old and up, and we're looking for that second round. You're fully vaccinated. We're looking for a booster shot, which you can get if you're 65 and older, and of course you have medical problems, that needs to be attended to quick. You want to go get that, and all you have to do is just show your card. You're fully vaccinated. Show your card, and you get right in. If you're not vaccinated at all, of course you have to go through the whole process in itself. You get 2 shots if you're Moderna or Pfizer. 1 shot is for Johnson and Johnson. You already know that. So whatever it takes. And also talk about this mix and match. Now I draw the line there. I don't even want to hear about mix and match. Whatever you were taking in the beginning, whether you were taking J&J or Moderna or Pfizer, I think you might want to stick with that. They had a meeting today about it, and they're going to discuss this. Probably you'll hear it in the news tomorrow or probably the next day, whether it's safe enough to mix and match. Now, even if that were true, I would still say, for me, I'm just going to stick with what I know or what I had, because like I always say, I never mix my drinks. So I don't want to, I'm a Pfizer guy. That's what I came up with initially, and that's what I'm going to end up with. But that would be up to you. But before you even do that, you should consult with your doctor to find out if that's really safe for you to do that. Otherwise, you make your own decision on that. But whatever they say, if it says it's okay to do it, then I guess it would be okay. But whether it's okay to do it or not, I'm certainly not going to take part of that. Sometimes you have to draw the line on certain things, but I'm still being safe at the same time. I'm going to get vaccinated. I'm going to get my booster, and I'm going to get what I had originally, which is the Pfizer. Some people got Moderna, Johnson, whatever. That's up to you. Just think about that. But the most important thing is to get vaccinated. And for those of you who are still on the fence, I'm here to tell you that it's safe. It's not harmful. It doesn't cost you anything. And that's an important thing to know, that it doesn't cost you anything. Just walk in, walk out. Now, before, when in the early stages of it, you have to make an appointment to get vaccinated. I think in most cases now, you can just walk right in, and there are plenty of places to go. You can go to your primary doctor. Maybe he has a supply of vaccines, and you can take it there. You can go to your favorite pharmacist. There are centers you can go to that are giving out free vaccinations. They even have places outside on the street where you can get vaccinated, and places out on the street where you can take the test. Now, if you're not going to get vaccinated, at least until you make up your mind to do so, at least take the test. And, of course, there's a big mandate coming on a lot of jobs that they must get vaccinated or take the test weekly, but they'll have to do that on their own time, and they have to produce the fact that they did get either vaccinated or tested. All right, and I don't know. I would, if I were you, I would get vaccinated rather than go every week getting tested, getting shoved up the nose each week. It's it's a little uncomfortable. It's not going to kill you, but who wants to do that every week? But then again, that's for you to make up your mind whether you want to do that or not. So please, I always say, just stay healthy and stay conscious of what's going on around you. You know, be aware of what's going on around you, and of course, you want to take care of your loved ones as well, as I already said before. And so, if you need vaccines, there are a lot of places to go. If you don't know where to go, of course, it's all a matter of Googling. It's just a matter of Googling to find out where these places are. You have telephone numbers, and of course, you have websites that will lead you to these places where you can go, and you can do it. Now, I'm pretty sure wherever you are watching this show, from whatever city, whatever country, there's a place in your area. I have a number that I started from the beginning that I always give out every week. And for those of you who are watching on the show, you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Instagram too, like the people here, I will give you that information. Okay. Now, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, you know where to go. It's up here. The information is up here, or is it over here, or is it down here, or depending on how you're watching the show. The information is there. You could see it right there. I have it up there for you. And it will be there if you don't, for the people who don't get to watch the show in real time and they want to watch the rerun, of course, it will be there too as well. It's called the COVID-19 test, and next to it or underneath it is a telephone number. And that's a local New York City telephone number. But still, you know, they'll give you the same information, and you could still find out where to go. Or if you don't have access to a number where you are, maybe they can do that for you as well. But, you know, the more the merrier. The more information, the merrier. So that number is 718-638-7682. That's 718-638-7682. Call that number. You could talk to someone live. If you have any questions about the COVID or questions about Delta variant, they'll be able to give you the answers, or at least lead you to someone on the line that will give you the answers, that know more about it. They can tell you about the doctors you could see, and what the progress of how many people have been vaccinated in this country already. I understand now it's past half of it now. I'm pretty sure there's a big percentage now of Americans who have gotten vaccinated, and so far we're looking good. So I just want to say, you know, for those of you who are living in towns that are more vulnerable with this disease, you're going to want to take precautions with that. There are some places that are doing better than others. I know here in New York, we're doing pretty good. So, but we still cautious people here, and we want to make sure that everything is okay, and then take care of everything. Take care of your household, and then your neighbors, and whatever help you can give them with that, or whatever information that you have that you're knowledgeable about. You could also relay that same information, such as what I'm doing here. And that's the way we do it. So again, that number is 718-638-7682. And of course, Google. Use Google. You have an internet, use Google. And of course, you can do that. And that'll give you information too of places where to go and all such things like that. So if you're just joining us, you're coming in, I just want to say hi to all you guys. I see a lot of guys out there, guys and gals out there in Facebook area. They're watching right now, right? I see them. They're watching right now. And so I just want to say to you guys, welcome aboard. I just want to wave to you guys, say welcome aboard. All you guys watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Welcome aboard. And of course, you guys over there who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much for being with us. And if you'd like to say hi, we would appreciate it. If you're just sitting there idle, that's okay. You just want to enjoy the show, that's okay too. But we would like to hear from you as well. So if you have anything to say, or any comments about what I just said, or any comments we said last week and you want to weigh in, we'll talk about it. All kinds of things. As I said, sports is coming up in just a few seconds. Brian Camp will be phoning in. And of course, he'll give you the latest developments in today's world of sports. So we've got a lot of things to talk about today. So stay right with us, and just stay in touch of what's happening. Before we move on, I just want to say that, and I have to do this, I want to give my condolences to the Colin Powell family. General Colin Powell, as you already know, passed away this past week at the age of 84 due to complication of COVID. Now, I don't want to alarm anyone. He was fully vaccinated. But the thing that we didn't know, we found out later that he also had an issue with multiple myeloma. And I know a lot about that disease because my mom died from that disease. It's a bone and blood cancer. And of course, that has a big effect on the immune system. So uh, that's probably what happened there. Because the first thing I heard about it when I heard that, that he was going to, that he had passed away through COVID, but he was fully vaccinated. That kind of gave me a little scare. I got to admit, it gave me a little scare. Then I found out later that issue. But it's very a few times. But anyway, the most important thing we would just wanted to acknowledge General Colin Powell, one of the heroes, decorated heroes, served in the U.S. Army. And I'm proud to say that I was so proud to have been able to walk the halls of the school that he went to, because him and I went to the same school. Of course, he's been there years before me, but he walked through there, and I was just proud to walk through the halls that he did, General Colin Powell. We got more to talk about, but right now we want to go to sports. Brian Camp is along with us, and he's calling from Charlotte, North Carolina, and where the weather is good. And it's called, of course, he calls it. It's not that he calls it that. It is the Queen City, right, Brian? Is that true?
It is the Queen City. Yes, it is. It's the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, and nickname it. And it's beautiful out here, 69 degrees. Before I go into sports, General Powell, yeah, he had that cancer.
Multiple myeloma.
That passing away, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is that no matter if you have a vaccination shot, if that cancer comes back, like it did with our mother, it comes back with fury. It comes back strong, and it will bypass any vaccination that you have. So, we want to make that understand. I was worried too. I had called you about it,
mm-hmm.
and was a little worried about it too, about it being, you're fully vaccinated. And I tell you, certain newscasts, they were all over it. They were jumping all over. I'll say the news. Fox News was all over it. I mean, minutes just when they announced that Colin Powell died, Fox News just went off. They didn't even find out the details about what other ailments he had. And sadly, I have to say sadly, emphasize how certain news media could just bring this up forth without even knowing all the details and everything. Mm-hmm. Yes, he had complications of COVID-19, but basically his immune system had shut down, because when you have other ailments, it's hard to build up your immune system. That's why the doctors tell you gotta have to build up your immune system. That's a must. And sadly to say, may he rest in peace.
Well, my mom died from that COVID. It was a devastating thing to see. I mean, not the COVID, but from the multiple myeloma. And that's a devastating, as you already know, that's a devastating thing to see. But it's gotten better over the years. People are living through it now. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is getting better. And but what cancer is good to have where it's treatable, rather than not have it at all. Mm-hmm. But we just got to move on, and I just tell everybody, take care of your immune system. Mm-hmm. Vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D. You have to build up your immune system. Not only this vaccine, but all other viruses and infections that you may have. Mm-hmm. But that's important.
Yeah.
But let me get to sports. In college football, NCAA, Washington State fired football head coach Nick Rolovich and 4 assistants on Monday after they refused to comply with the mandate that all state employees be vaccinated against COVID-19. Now, Washington's Governor Jay Inslee has set a deadline on Monday for thousands of state employees, including the Washington State Cougars coaches, to be vaccinated against the coronavirus or risk losing their jobs. Mm-hmm. Now, defensive coordinator Jake Digger been elevated to interim coach. The interim coach means that he's going to be the filling coach until he decides to find another coach, or they decide maybe if he's doing a decent job, they will keep him. Mm-hmm. Now, his first game in charge will be Saturday at home against BYU, Brigham Young University. Now, Rolich was the highest paid state employee with an annual salary of more than $43 million of his entire contract that runs through 2025. He has said he wouldn't get the vaccine, but has declined to provide clarity when asked repeatedly for weeks to expand upon reasoning for his refusal. So Rolich, who is 42 years of age, initially said in mid-August, back in August, he would comply with the vaccine mandate, but later confirmed he applied for a religious exemption, which he was denied. He has not specified his religious beliefs. So Rolich revealed in July that he would not get vaccinated and couldn't attend Pac-12, which is the Pac-12, which is the conference where the school that he works at in person. So he couldn't be there in person because of it. He was the only unvaccinated head coach in the Pac-12 and had worn a mask during games. So yesterday, this is an update. Yesterday, Rolovich will be suing the university for illegal termination, in part because of discriminatory and vindictive behavior by athletic director Pat Chung. Mm-hmm. Since Rolovich did not meet the requirements in his contract, which paid him $3 million annually, even though he has a total of $43 million all told, but annually he makes $3 million. Therefore, he will not be continued to get paid by the school. So this is why that's why he's suing the school, and this is why he's very upset. It's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. In the NFL, former wide receiver South Florida native Kenbrell Ahmed Tompkins, 33, pleaded guilty on Monday in Miami federal court to one account of unauthorized access device fraud and one account of aggravated identity theft. He was stealing identities to fraudulently obtain coronavirus-related employment insurance benefits in California. Wow. Tompkins used the stolen identities of numerous Florida residents to obtain fraudulent unemployment insurance benefits from the state of California. He was actually using debit cards. That's how he longer jail term, which he will probably still have to serve time, but we don't know how long or what the judge is going to give him if he has any other priors. So it would be sentenced, I guess, whenever they decide to close the case. Major League Baseball, Aaron Boone, New York Yankee manager who led the Yankees to the postseason in each of his 4 seasons in the Bronx, will return as manager on a new 3-year deal with the club option for 2025. The option means that the Yankees could decide not to pay him at all in his final year, or if he's doing a good job or whatever, if things go well, they will pick up the contract and he will manage 2025. Now, 4 coaches have already decided not to return next year, so he's going to need a new coaching staff as well. So that's where we stand. This day, October 21st, 1964, the Braves asked National League to allow them to leave Milwaukee and move to Atlanta, Georgia, where that's where they're presently playing right now in Atlanta. And as we speak, they just took a 2-0 lead in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series on a 2-run home run, and they lead 2-0 against the LA Dodgers. Anything that's against the Dodgers, I applaud. Yay, 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 yay. So the Braves are doing very, very well. It'd be fitting if they would win the World Series on the year that Hank Aaron, the late, great Hall of Famer, Hank Aaron passes away. Remember, Hank Aaron passed away early February of this year. So come on, let's win it, Braves. Come on, let's beat those Dodgers. Beat LA, beat LA, beat LA. 1973, the Oakland A's defeated the New York Knicks 5-2 and went back-to-back World Series in 7 games. A's manager Dick Williams immediately quit. Reggie Jackson would win World Series MVP. I remember that too. It was against the Mets. That was a strange postseason. That was a year that in the league championship series, the Mets and the Reds played, and Bud House and Pete Rose got into a fight at second base. I remember that so well. 1973 was in the same year. Fred Dryer of the LA Rams becomes the first player in NFL history to score 2 safeties in the same game. Now, many of you don't know what a safety is when you get tackled into the end zone or you kick the ball out of the end zone, you award 2 points. 1975, Carlton Fisk hit his famous 12th inning home run in the Game 6 of the World Series. This is the famous home run that Carlton Fisk hit in the 12th inning, where he was waving the ball as he hit the ball. He was waving it like he had any control over it, but he was waving it so that the ball could stay fair. And many of you have seen it. He jumped up, leaped for joy. A lot of Red Sox fans were so happy and elated. 1976, New York Knicks retired their first number 19, the captain, Willis Reed, as he was honored at Madison Square Garden. 1980, Philadelphia Phillies wins their first World Series in their 98-year history. Wow, they went from 98 years from 1980 back, and they won it for the first time in their year 1980. So congratulations. And the basketball season started. You can check your local listing. I know that Madison Square Garden was rocking. They was talking about it all day. Brought back old memories. It's something about Madison Square Garden. It's electrifying. It's the mega arena of all sports, of all entertainment. I saw my first concert as a little kid. Sly the Family Stone. My family took me, and it was just great. Madison Square Garden is the mecca of all arenas, and that's sports.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, a lot of people played Madison Square Garden. There was Madison Square Garden. There was the Felt Forum next door, which is the smaller theater. But everyone wanted to get into that garden. It was just, like you say, it wasn't just about basketball. There were concerts and everything. I remember that Sly Stone concert. Yeah. Where the house where you get a contact high.
I had opened up my mouth. I asked my mother, when you're a little kid and you're with your 2 brothers, and you ask, "What's that smell, Mom?" And I got popped in the mouth and said, "Shut your mouth." And not knowing that it was marijuana, but what did I know? I was just wanting to know what was that smell. When you're a kid, you always want to inquire things.
Yeah. So you're a little bitter about the Dodger game. The Dodgers, the Braves are winning 2-0 right now, and so you're kind of bitter.
Yes, they are.
You don't want Dodgers to get this. Not that you're a big fan, that you really care about Atlanta.
Well, this is the thing. The Giants and the Dodgers have been big time rivals. They do not like one another. They go back to the years of being in Brooklyn and in New York.
Yeah.
And they moved in 1958. They both moved out to California.
Yeah.
And the rivalry, as you know, they have history where they fought on the field. They fought.
Yeah.
And the fans, it was even, unfortunately, some years back, there was a fatality in, I believe it was in San Francisco or LA, where they got into a fight. So that's how fierce it is,
Yeah. Well, when you see some of these teams, right, you always think of one player associated with that team. Every time, let's say, for instance, San Francisco Giant. Who's the person that you think about first? The first person you think about when you say San Francisco Giant?
Oh, the Say Hey kid, Willie Mays, without a doubt.
That's right. This is a good test. This is a good test. What do you think about with the Yankees?
The first person that comes to mind, it would have to be Babe Ruth, because he saved baseball back in 1921 when they had the scandal in the World Series. Now, baseball was at a decline after the scandal.
Yeah.
But he saved baseball single-handedly alone.
Yep.
Now, I get criticized for wearing a Jackie Robinson jersey, and then they say, "Well, I thought you was a San Francisco Giant fan." I said, "I am."
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for Jackie Robinson, a lot of people of color, blacks and Latinos, would not be playing because he broke the color barrier.
Yeah.
So I wear his jersey. The only time I wear a Dodger jersey is for Jackie, in memory of Jackie Robinson.
Yeah. Well,
it's a true story. Willie Mays had said this. He said, every time I look at my wallet and think about Jackie Robinson, I look at my wallet, I thank him.
Uh-huh.
Because he was the one that paid the way for them to make money and to play in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of number 42, no one wears 42 in the major leagues anymore. They're all gone. No one wears it.
Right.
One person, it's gone. It's Jackie Robinson's number forever. But there was when I was working at this one particular radio station, sometimes we get perks. And the traffic department in our station, the guy had a bunch of these caps, these Ebbett Field caps. They were replicas of the old Ebbett Field cap of the kids who used to go walk around selling peanuts and Cracker Jacks. And it's a replica of that kind of cap, and it said Ebbett Field on it. And I have two of those caps. Initially, the guy gave me number 32, which is Sandy Koufax. I said,
Sandy Koufax, yeah.
I said, yeah, that's good. I said, that's good. I said, but do you have number 42 in there? And he says, no, let me look around and see. And I saw it. I said, that's it. I want it because there was only one. There was only one, and I grabbed it. So I have the two caps. I never wore the number 32. I still have the number 32. It's like mint condition, brand new, never worn. But the Jackie Robinson, the number isn't like in the back of the cap.
Yes.
And I always treasure that cap. So, yeah. Okay, here's one more. Another team. Who do you think about when you hear the Dodgers?
The Dodgers, it has to be, well, let me see. I would say Jackie Robinson. Was he the greatest Dodger of all time? I would not say he was the greatest. He was we'll put it like this. Coming out of the old Negro League, he was not the best player in the Negro League.
Yeah.
But he was the right choice.
Yeah.
As for Dodgers, I would say Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody else.
Well, you could stop right there. It seems that you and I are thinking a lot because all of those names, those three names that we mentioned, those are the names I had in my head too. The same ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have a lot of teams that when they mention a team. Now let me try one more and see if you get this one. Just one more. I don't know if we're going to think alike on this one. Let's try it. What about the Reds, the Cincinnati Reds?
The Cincinnati Reds. Now that's going to be a tough one because
I got one in my head.
Because of his situation, because of him with gambling, Pete Rose would come into mind. But a lot of the writers do not like Pete Rose. That's why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But what he did on the field, to me, had nothing to do with what he did off the field. What he did on the field, he left it all on the field. He played hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Pete Rose is the one that comes into mind.
Okay, that's a good one. I thought that was a good one. That was a good one. But I had Frank Robinson in mind for me.
Yeah, Frank Robinson didn't play many years with the Reds, but Frank Robinson definitely, he's a two-time MVP.
Yeah.
He's the only player that ever won an MVP in each league. So Frank Robinson for sure. Yeah. 586 career home runs. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your choice is a good one too. So, but with that in mind, we'll keep our fingers crossed for Pete Rose because one of these days someone has to come in there and say, "Look, it's been too long. Let's put this man in the Hall of Fame."
Yeah. But you know what I say? If you're going to put Pete Rose in, you got to put Barry Bonds.
I know. We discussed that one, and yeah, I know. And your boy Barry Bonds was in the last week's game. I saw him in the stands watching the game.
Yeah, he was in there.
Yeah. I see DJ Pete is out there. He said he was at the game. He said that earlier, but I'm not sure what game. But anyway, Brian, we'll catch you back here tomorrow.
Okay, I'll see you then. Take care.
Take care of yourself. That was Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports. It's called Sports Update. And, of course, he brings that to you each week at this time. And tomorrow he will be here, too, for our 2020 feature, 20 past the hour with Sports Update and DJ Pete, 20 minutes to the hour. DJ Pete, are you still out there? Are you going to be here tomorrow, or are we going to do something else? Let me know. Yeah, I think he's still out there. Hopefully he's still out there. Anyway, if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. And Talk Back Live is a show that's on every Thursday. We're here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for a full hour of conversation. And, of course, we broadcast on 3 entities, I would say. DJ Pete is going to be here tomorrow, too. He just chimed in and said he will be here tomorrow. And he was at that Red Sox World Series games with Carlton Fisk. Carlton Fisk waving his hands. So he met Carlton Fisk. I remember Carlton Fisk, right? Yeah, DJ Pete will be here tomorrow for his part of the 2020 feature, 20 to the hour. But you're watching us on 3 entities, as I said. Did I say that? Is that a word? Entity. 3 entities. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on Instagram, too. I see they're watching on Instagram, so thank you so much, guys, for being with us on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. And if you have anything to say about sports, Brian just wrapped up his sports. If you have anything to say about that, please, chime in. DJ Pete said in 1975, the tickets were $8. And yeah, they were $8, and we're talking about the box seats, right? $8 in baseball, $8 for the game. For what seats did you sit in? $8. Yeah, it was $8 for the game. But and I'm pretty sure you're talking about the box seats, because back in the '60s, when I was going to Yankee Stadium, we used to go all the time, and if my mother had the money, she would give me the $8 and I would go sit in the box seats. Back then things are cheaper. I mean, back then for the playoff games in the World Series, was it that cheap? I thought they were higher than that. $8 box seats, $8 for the World Series. I didn't know that. I thought by the time the playoff games come in and the World Series come in, they up the ante. But I didn't know that. But I know all around it was $8 for the $8 for the not the bleachers. I was going to say the bleachers. $8 for the box seats, and I would always sit right at the Yankee dugout, right there. And of course, if we didn't have that kind of money, there was always the upper decks, the reserve seats. The reserve seats, I think they were like $2.50. And if you didn't have that kind of money, there's always the grandstand way up on the upper deck, the nosebleed area. That would cost you $1.50. And if you were really dirt poor, it was always the bleachers. Way out in center field, out in the outfield, the bleachers were out there for 75 cents. So, either way, we were living large at that time. When we were kids, we were living large at that time. Now, box seats today has to be at least what? Help me out with this, Pete. $900, something like that? $900 for box seats? Maybe a little less than that, $800, somewhere in there. Box seats. But I know they were expensive. They're expensive, but people, when baseball people, people who really love baseball, nothing's too expensive, because they want to go to the games. They want to see their favorite player, and they want to sit down right up front and center, right in the box seats. That's what they want to do. and they do that. So we that's the way it was back then. Box seats. So I love, and you know, there were times when I was so spoiled that if I couldn't go and get into the box seats, I'd rather not go to the games. But if I was really gun ho about going to the games, I would choose the other seats too. But there were a lot of times I was out in the outfield in the bleachers, and you got to, but when I went to the bleachers, I always got to sit near the right next to the Yankee bullpen, because out there that's the bleachers were right next to the bullpen. Each side of the bleachers, you had the home team and you had the visiting team, and I used to always make it a point to sit right next to that fence near at the bleachers, right next, so I could look down at the guys warming up in the Yankee bullpen and even talk to them. Because back in those days, actually, they didn't talk to anyone. You know, they had a rule for baseball players is not to interact with fans, which some of them broke that rule anyway and did it. And if you call their name, they would ignore you. They wouldn't say anything. But I do remember at one time I was sitting up in I think it was like the reserve seats. You know, it wasn't like the box seats, but I saw Mantle. They were taking batting practice, and he was out in the field. And I yelled. I said, Mickey, Mickey, Mickey. I yelled. And he looked up, he heard my voice, and he waved. That was the highlight of my life. Mickey Mantle waving to me. That was a great thing to see. That was when you have a boyhood, you have all of these great things to talk about. But they were lovely moments. I want to also give my regards and my deepest condolences to Carmen Bolton Day. Her son, as you already know, was killed, was murdered this week. Jelani Day, you've heard about it. It was all in the news. And, you know, these kids, they're getting killed for absolutely no reason. You know, people are just using guns. They're using pistols like they just like buying a pistol out of a toy department store. That's how fast those pistols go, except they're the real things. And they go around shooting up. It's like the wild, wild west. Here in New York and Brooklyn today, there was a shootout this morning around 10:30. And right across the street from a daycare center. And what are people thinking about? You know, no one cares. Nobody cares. Don't care. They don't care about older people. They don't care about younger people. They don't care about kids, babies, and a daycare center, and they're out there shooting like it's the wild, wild west. You know, it was out there in the Flatbush area of Brooklyn. You know, those of you who are watching in New York, you know Brooklyn, in the Flatbush area of Brooklyn, right next to the subway station. They say the guy was coming out of the subway station, and evidently he was trying to target someone because he went into a store and started shooting up. And then I think maybe about 20 feet away, started firing guns. And the daycare center, fortunately, no one got hurt. None of the kids got hurt or anything like that. But it's like the wild, wild west, you know. And we got to be very careful who we sell guns to, you know. You got people who are buying guns that don't even have it up here. You know, it's just like, it's like TV. They're influenced by TV, you know. And a lot of these shows and these movies that you watch kind of influence some people. They don't use their common sense, you know. As adults, as an adult, first of all, you shouldn't even be influenced by anything. You know, TV is not for real. You know, if you watch Death Wish or something like that, you know, people just, you know, want to carry guns. Yeah, because I remember when Bernie, what was the guy that they attempted to shoot him? Oh, well, he shot the kid. Bernie, can't think of his last name right now. It escapes me. But, you know, it was a Death Wish scene. You saw the Death with Charles Bronson in the subway train, and two of the guys coming in. The guy takes the knife and he rips the paper, and you know Bronson just pulls out a gun and just blows him away. You know, and that's what happened with the situation with Bernie. Someone will tell me about it. But that I remember that very well. Okay, moving on now. Moving on. On this day in history, 1921, The Sheik, a silent film starring Rudolph Valentino, premieres in Los Angeles. On this day in history, in 1948, UN rejects Russian proposal to destroy atomic weapons. On this day in history, in 1950, Chinese forces occupied Tibet. That same year, death penalty abolished in Belgium. On this day in history, in 1959, the Guggenheim Museum, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, opens in New York City. On this day in history, in 1960, John F. Kennedy, and of course, let me make this perfectly clear, John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon clashed in their fourth and final presidential debate in New York City. On this day in history, in 1961, Barbra Streisand opens in Another Evening with Harry Stones. On this day in history, in 1964, the film version of My Fair Lady, directed by George Cukor, and starred Rex Harrison and Audrey Hepburn, premiered in New York City and won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1965. Also in 1965, KTWU-TV, Channel 11 in Topeka, Kansas, a PBS station, begins broadcast. In 1965, the Vivian Beaumont Theater opens in New York City. 1967, tens of thousands of anti-Vietnam War protesters marched to the Pentagon, besieging the military headquarters for 2 days. In 1972, Man of La Mancha closes at the Beaumont Theater in New York City after 140 performances. In 1975, Elton John is given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 1983, Pope John Paul II names 3 new Dutch bishops. On this day in history, in 1991, former California Governor Jerry Brown announces his run for U.S. presidency. In 2001, the United We Stand benefit concert for September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks victims. It was held at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., organized by the late Michael Jackson, and he headlined the show as well. And of course, it features Ario Smith, Mariah Carey, and the Backstreet Boys. In 2018, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, also known as Elaine from the Seinfeld show, you know that Elaine dance. Anyway, she was presented with the Mark Twain Prize, comedy's top honor, at a ceremony in New York City. In 2020, of course, that was last year, the 54th CMT Music Awards go to Carrie Underwood and Luke Bryan. In 1924, Joyce Randolph, an American actress better known for her character as Trixie in The Honeymooners, was born on this day in Detroit, Michigan. She would have been 97 today. On this day in history, 1924, Celia Cruz, who is better known as the Cuban singer, Queen of Salsa, was born on this day in 1924. She would have been 97. On this day, 1940, Manfred Man Michael Lubowitz was born in Johannesburg, South Africa. He's 81 today. Do-wah diddy diddy dum diddy do. 1945, on this day, singer Kathy Young with a big hit in 1960, 1,000 Stars in the Sky, and she's 76 today. And so congratulations to you, Kathy. She's still singing. She's still doing all the old doo-wop shows whenever she can find one, whenever they have them anyway. Actress Carrie Fisher was born on this day in 1956 in Beverly Hills, California. She passed away at the age of 60, December 27th, 2016. And she died from 4 days after suffering a heart attack on a flight from London to Los Angeles. And I want to add to that her mom, Debbie Reynolds, passed away the day afterwards. That was ironic. Kim Kardashian, born on this day in 1980 in Los Angeles, California. She's 40 years old today. On this day, actor 1977, actor Peter Boyle weds Lorraine Alterman at a United Nations chapel in New York City. In 1995, on this day, Family Ties actress Meredith Baxter, she weds screenwriter Michael Bolkat in Los Angeles, California. In 2019, rapper and singer Nicki Minaj weds her childhood sweetheart, Kenneth Petty. In 2003, Fred Berry, as you know, he's an African-American actor. He was better known for his character Rerun in the sitcom What's Happening. He died at the age of 52 on this day today. 2015, on this day in history, Marty Ingalls, an American comedian who teamed up with John Ashton when they did that sitcom back in the early 60s, I'm Dickens, He's Fenster. And he passed away at the age of 79. And that's this day in history. And if you know any situations that's happening in this day in history and you want to pass it along to us, we'd be glad to do that for you. Please do so. And of course, we'll relay it to you. And those of you who have anything to say of anything, please feel free, because you're watching us right here on Talkback Live. My name is Frank Allan. We're here every Thursday between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. And of course, we like to engage you in conversations, and we come on three ways. You come on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on Instagram. Hello, Instagram, how are you? And of course, we're here, as I said, every week. So please tell your family and friends. Now, for all of you who are watching us on Facebook, you know what to do. All you have to do is tag your friend. Just tag your friend, right? Let them know that we're on the air. Get them involved in this. And when they watch the show, they may want to come back and be part of us too, be part of this distinguished family of cast of characters. If you're watching us on YouTube, all you have to do, and we urge you to do that, is click on and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, this way you'll never miss a show. And of course, every time we come on the air live, or if we so much as post a pre-recorded video for your entertainment, you will be informed, you will be notified. Isn't that nice? So you can do that. Now, for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, we don't have anything posted. We don't have information posted for you on how you can get in touch with us. But I'll give you a telephone number, right? How you can do that. Oh, and by the way, you could also follow us on Instagram. Follow us. And listen, if you want to get in touch with us, all of you guys, you want to ever get in touch with us, just what you should do is Facebook, up there, information. All of you guys are watching us on YouTube, go to the chat area way at the top. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, I'll give you the number in a second and the email address. But for those of you, it's right up there for you, okay? Now, for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, we don't have a way to, post it up there that you could see it. So I will give you my telephone number, 641-715-3900, and the extension is 467-134. Again, that's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. If you prefer to email me, you can do that too. My email address is frankallanprod@aol.com. Get the name right, Frank Allan. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N, not E-N. Everybody wants to put an E. They don't let me spell my name the way it's supposed to be. It's A-L-L-A-N. Frank Allan Prod, P-R-O-D, that's short for production. Frank Allan Prod @AOL.com. Again, that's Frank Allan Prod @AOL.com. And we thank you for doing that. Okay, we got movies. We want to quickly run along with that. We have movies for you, okay? We have that. And let's get started with that right away. If you are looking for something to watch, if you want to be entertained, if you're not going to go out this weekend, or if you're being inclement weather that's going to keep you in the house, of course, you want to catch up on movies like I do, and they're always good. So I have my picks of the week. for all of the classic movies from Turner Classic Movies. And we'll start out like this. We have Stormy Weather from 1943, starring Bill Robertson and Lena Horne. That comes on Turner Classic Movies, and that comes on this Saturday at 12 a.m. That's Friday night, Saturday morning, 12 a.m. Eastern. And of course, if you want to stay up that late, you'll have something to enjoy. If you can't stay up that late, or if you're not home, whatever it is, you might want to take time and DVR it. Program it to DVR it and watch it at another time. That's Stormy Weather. We also have Robin and the Seven Hoods, back from 1964, starring Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. That comes on Turner Classic Movies. And that's also on Saturday. That's Saturday in the afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. That's Robin, and Bing Crosby is also in there too, so you might want to watch that. You could DVR all of these things. We have The Birds of Alfred the Bird. Oh, not The Birds. It's just Bird. Bird. Now this is a 1988 movie directed by Clint Eastwood, because Clint Eastwood was a real jazz buff, starring Forrest Whitaker. And that comes on Turner Classic Movies this Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you could watch. Those are my picks for the week. Now, we also have another one. Here's one, a classic that you'll like. Sorry, Wrong Number from 1948, starring Barbara Stanwyck and Burt Lancaster. That comes on Sunday at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. And it's all right there on Turner Classic Movies. So we urge you to watch it. Now, if you don't like any of those movies, and I'm pretty sure you do, but I just say that. There's other to watch. You know, all you have to do is go through TCM and, you know, go through the menu and you'll see other movies. There may be other ones that you like, but those just were my picks. And if you want to go further than that, you could also go on demand. And you can either go onto the networks or you can go onto movie channels and find other movies that you may be interested in. You could also go to demand, yeah. And you could also go to the networks. If you missed anything on some of the networks, like I Love Wrestling, whatever I miss, I can always go back to it because they always post it the day after it's broadcast live. So you can do that. It's always a thing to do. So there you go. And those are my picks. So let me repeat those movies again. You have Stormy Weather with Bill Robertson and Lena Horne. That's Saturday, 12 a.m. Friday night, Saturday morning. That's tomorrow at 12 a.m. Eastern. And you have Robin and the Seven Hoods with Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr., the original Rat Pack, right? And, of course, that's Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And Bird with Forrest Whitaker, Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And, again, Sorry, Wrong Number with Barbara Stanwyck and Burt Lancaster. That's Sunday at 3:45 p.m. They're great movies to watch, and you're not going to want to miss it. So there you go. You're just watching us, just tuning in. I'm sorry that you're a little late. We're getting ready to leave. You're watching Talkback Live, and we thank you so much for being along with us. As you already heard in the news today, you remember Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito, who was, they found her body. She was, they labeled it as homicide. You heard today that her fiance, Brian Laundrie, they found the FBI determined that the remains that they found in Florida was actually his. So it's kind of a strange story, and I just knew there was something going on. When he got lost all that time, I just figured, well, maybe he did himself in, but nobody really knows. That's not confirmed on how he died. They just found remains in backpacks, his own backpack with material in it. And so we lose Gabby and later on Brian. We'll never know the outcome of that story. We'll never know it. Never know it. Anyway, it's time for me to go. I wish I could stay a little longer. I had so much more to tell you about, but I could tell you tomorrow if you tune in bright and early, and we'll be here on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram on the Coffee Hour. Brian Kemp will be with me with his part of the 2020 feature, 20 past the hour. DJ Pete will be with me also 20 to the hour, giving you entertainment. And, of course, you and I in conversation, and we'll tell you more of whatever we missed tonight. So tune in. That's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, and it's all happening right here on Facebook Live. I thank you so much for being along with us. We thank you a bunch. Be sure to be there tomorrow, okay? In the meantime, you guys have a wonderful day, a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and a pleasant good night to each and every one of you. Take care. Bye-bye.